Hey, how are
Hey,
you feeling?
great, really good.
How was yesterday?
Yesterday was amazing, especially I think the speaker dinner we've been to.
Yeah.
Was really nice to meet a lot of nice people.
Are you
And
enjoying
I
so
think,
far?
and I think especially the vibe that I'm feeling here is something that's very unique for such a big event. I've been at a couple of events, but really this vibe of we're gonna make it happen. That's something that I feel a lot here.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like this whole thing what we are talking about, it's not future, it's just happening today, and no wonder you guys all are here just to make serendipity happen, right? So
Exactly.
I don't want to brag, but I might be sitting next to the Elon Musk of Europe. Can I say that? Or you're like, no, I'm Tim.
Yeah,
Nowhere
of course
near.
I'm Tim.
Nowhere near.
And the Hyperloop is related to Elon Musk because he's one of the the fathers of the idea and pushing forward the concept. And then multiple people picked it up to try to work it out.
Yeah, so
And I'm
tell us
one of
a
them.
bit more about your background and where do you come from, and how did you kind of like get into the Hyperloop madness thing?
Yeah, that's already taking back quite far. It was around 2012. And around that time, I was building electric race cars, part of a competition. And during that time, Elon Musk announced his Hyperloop ID. But we were so focused
Right.
on our own electric race car competition.
When was that?
It's called Formula Student. It's the biggest design and engineering competition in the world. And the Technical University of Delft is quite good at it. So we won in Hockenheim in Germany, but also in Silverstone in UK. But when Elon Musk announced his Hyperloop ID, we already said to each other, well, how great would it be if there would come a Hyperloop competition?
Wow.
And then Elon Musk announced his Hyperloop competition, and we were still in a WhatsApp group with the former team members of that race car team. And then the famous words came like, hey guys, it's time to drop your studies again.
Oh,
We're going to
God.
build a Hyperloop.
How old
So
were
that's
you?
when it really gets started. And then I was 24.
24. Did you hear that? He was 24.
And back then we were just with the four of us, so we recruited the team to make the design and the prototype to win this competition. And it went quite well because we already had the experience of building those electric race cars. And then we won the Innovation Award. We won the Overall Design and Performance Award with our prototype. I also got to meet Elon Musk, which was
Yeah.
really cool, by the way.
Well, I can only imagine, of course.
And then, after we won the competition, we started Hardt Hyperloop to really make the Hyperloop a reality from a commercial perspective. So
Okay.
that's how it all got started.
But of course, there's always, whenever someone is obviously creating that type of a project, it's a huge vision. There must be, very focused mission behind it as well. So what made you kind of tackle this pressing issue of mobility and transportation of future? Why do you build what you build?
Yeah, actually, it is like two main things. Because of course, during the development of the competition prototype, we saw the amount of traction and the enthusiasm of people to work towards a new mode of transportation. Because if you look back, it's like more than 100 years before the last major breakthrough has happened, which was the airplane.
Right.
And since then, nothing really that much has happened in terms of breakthrough technology in the mobility industry. And furthermore, there is this huge growth in the mobility industry. Actually, over the last 65 years, it has grown with more than 1,300%. So it's one of the fastest growing industries, and especially the aviation industry.
Yeah.
And it is the high-speed, long-distance transportation industry. It's doubling every 15 years. So 15 years, now it's like double. So it's an insane growth in that industry, putting an enormous amount of pressure on, of course, the aviation infrastructure, but also on the environment. And what is really kind of horrifying to notice is that just this aviation industry by itself will already emit more CO2 than it is allowed by the Paris Climate Agreement, where we have agreed upon. So that's something that we, of course, cannot let happen. So we have to find for an alternative. Now, high-speed rail is often proposed as an alternative. But
Well, you say that you want to take planes out.
well, taking planes out at all is probably something that is not going to happen, but it will be an addition to like the current transportation system, and especially on the short haul flight route, going from
like
Amsterdam to
1 to 2 hour flights.
Exactly.
3 hour flights.
And especially the main flights in Europe, like from Frankfurt to Amsterdam, Berlin, Barcelona, London, those flights, they would be ideal to do with a Hyperloop eventually, where you can take out all those flights. And actually, if you would put a European Hyperloop network connecting all of the main cities, and you just have the market share of the aviation market, you already can pay back your complete infrastructure investments in less than 10 years. So like from a macroeconomic perspective,
that's a really great ROI. Super great. I mean,
but of course you don't get to that network at once, so it has to be built up step by step.
Okay, so now we're kind of like starting to get a sense of where is this coming from, what's the problem you're solving, and show us, how does it look like?
Yeah,
we're excited to see it.
To show you. I think in general what Hyperloop is and what it looks like is that you will be traveling inside a capsule that is in a tube, and in the tube there's almost no air. Like there you can see the vehicle where you'll be sitting in. The vehicles, they levitate magnetically. They're being propelled magnetically, so there's no mechanical friction, no wear, which is minimizing the maintenance cost. And if you take a look at what it would be like if you would travel in a Hyperloop, let's see if we can go to the next one, then you will see that you, just as a regular station, you will be at the platform to get inside your vehicle, and the doors of the infrastructure will be aligned with the doors of the vehicle in order that you can come from the atmospheric pressure that is like outside the Hyperloop system to the atmospheric pressure which you will need to travel the passengers in to cross this low pressure environment that is in the tube. And there are like more doors per vehicle. Every Hyperloop vehicle is much smaller than the current trains nowadays. So therefore also people can get in and out much faster because you don't need to do that much people in.
Got it.
So if you would be inside, it could look like this, where we really focus on a spacious environment that you feel that you are not really packed. So this is what it would look like if you would sit in it. You can actually compare it to sort of a city hopper aircraft in terms of the diameter of the vehicle. But of course, the seats are not that tightly packed. You will have much more space to travel in, and basically you can do everything in it, but you can also do now in a train in terms of working and apping and internet. That will all be no problem.
Of course.
For example, when you will travel at night, we can also lower the lights to make you feel comfortable that you're doing a night trip.
Nice. So you're gonna have like first class and second class, or you're gonna just all people are regular people and there's no classes?
That's something that's still under investigation, especially how you would defer the potential commuter case in terms of the people that do it more for leisure. But that's still under investigation. What is the best way to serve everybody's needs at the best?
Okay, and also for me as a regular customer, just to understand, how much would this cost? Like, let's say I hop in Riga, I want to go to Warsaw, and how much would that cost for me?
How far is it apart from each other?
I'd say 500 kilometers.
Yeah, so what we take into account in our business model estimations is 10 cents per kilometer. So to do this trip of 500 kilometers, that will be around 50 euros. So also if you go from Frankfurt to Berlin, it's around the same distance, also the same price, which is actually very comparable to a cheap
to what
aircraft.
We do now, right?
Exactly with the airplane, but you gain a lot of flexibility. Because if you miss your flight, you're screwed and you can't get back. But with the Hyperloop system, we really envision that it's sort of a metro network on a continental scale, so that you could just go to the station and step in your vehicle and be at your final destination directly, also without any intermediate stops that you currently have in the trains, for example.
Nice. Well, I can't wait. I seriously can't wait.
Me neither.
So how far is the tech? Just tell us, how far are you guys?
We have a very step-by-step approach in order to develop the technology. At one side to minimize the risk, but the other side also to minimize the cost. So what you see here, this is one of our videos where we show our initial test setup that is used to test the core concepts of the Hyperloop. So what we can test there is like the magnetic levitation. So what we do, we have electromagnets that are pulling themselves towards the steel track in order to levitate at a stable height. And we did something smart there because we initiated a permanent magnet, like the same magnet that you would put on your fridge, for example, but they're much stronger. That will give the base force to levitate. So therefore, we need almost no energy to levitate at a stable height, and we can lift around 4,000 kilograms for 300 watts, and that's similar to a couple of light bulbs that you also see like upstairs here.
So is this new add-on what you guys are doing and putting right now? You just said it's smarter, right? Is that something you also see in any other Hyperloop manufacturers right now?
Currently, this concept we don't see. We see other concepts because you can do magnetic levitation in multiple ways. But the topology that we see here, we don't see it yet. But we see a shift from the other initiatives that where they first started with, is now kind of shifting to the concept that we already envisioned and now are doing the first test with. So it seems that we are kind of on the right track on what will be the eventual system, and also be at the forefront of those developments.
Okay, so this is then something that really differs you from the rest of the Hyperloops out there, right?
Yeah, on one side is the
but they might catch up,
level
right?
of
So
technical
you have
development.
to really
But on the other side, we're really working in a very open ecosystem. So we work with a lot of partners, actually more than 50 partners that are working with us in order to develop specific components of the Hyperloop. So for each technical component, we have a partner that's looking into the details of developing that, and we integrate that into the complete system. Even together with other Hyperloop initiatives that are also open for collaboration, where we're working towards a standardized system in order that when you, for example, want to cross the border, that you can stay in the same vehicle instead of what we had with the trains previously, that you need to switch trains because they use different systems everywhere.
So you want to make this really collaborative ecosystem when it comes to Hyperloops globally.
Definitely.
Great. That's a really nice initiative. I feel like if we want to actually make it happen, we have to do it together, right?
Yeah.
And that should be the slogan of everyone. Okay, so all the manufacturing is happening in Delft, is that right?
Currently it is. Here you see like our team that's already more than 1 year ago.
Yeah, this is not the whole team, by the way. This is not what it... Right? How many are you now?
We're now with 30 people. So we've grown quite significantly. But if you leverage all the work of our ecosystem, it is more than 100 people also from partners that are working on a daily basis to what we're trying to achieve. So it's really great to see all that support.
And what makes you think that you, a 26-year-old guy out of Delft, can achieve something this big? Why are you so confident that this team is going to deliver?
I think one thing is really dedication, focus, and persuasion. Is that when things don't work out on the first time, we just keep on trying to make it work. Actually, no matter what happens, even if there are very strict deadlines, working through the night or weekends, all no problem. We just put in it what needs to be done to get it done. And that also creates this vibe of people where you're working with that have the same mindset, and everybody is like pushing themselves to work harder and pushing other people to make it good, make it work. And this is like kind of a magnet of other people that also want to realize this. So therefore, I really believe that we have the kind of the core
best possible
team
launch pad, right?
To make it happen.
Nice. Okay, so about the roadmap. So how far are you guys? When can we see something like that on streets?
When can we see something like that on the streets? That will be around 2023. That's what we currently envision.
Wow,
then you would have the possibility to travel in Hyperloop, but that is all in a test environment.
Okay.
So it's not really between cities, but to get to that point, we're currently doing the test in our test facility that we have, which you can see at the background. Here you can see a kind of a bigger picture of it. And in this facility, we can test every core Hyperloop technology on full scale. So in terms of the full scale levitation, propulsion, stabilization, even this lane switching technology, that is something that we can test in this test facility. And actually, I'm also very happy to kind of announce an exciting moment because
There's
at
announcement.
the 27th of June, we're going to unveil our technical prototype to the world and also the results that we've achieved with it.
That's a huge milestone
But it's
for you,
something
right?
that I'm really looking forward to. And this will actually be the world's first and most advanced Hyperloop technology also to take corners and switch lanes, which is not being shown anywhere else in the world. So I'm really looking forward to that.
That really calls for some kind of applause here, guys. Do you hear that? That's amazing.
But what's happening afterwards, that will be even more amazing in my opinion. Because in this facility we can test everything on full scale, but unfortunately not on high speeds yet. So the next step will also be to test everything on high speeds. And currently we're in touch with a lot of partners, a lot of regions. There's one potential region that really looks very good to implement a high-speed facility.
Yeah.
That will be a facility of around 3 kilometers, where we can test speeds close to this 1,000 kilometers an hour. And that's really when it starts to get taken off. So that's the big milestone for the next 2 years that we're going to achieve. And then we have tested everything on on full scale in the current facility, on high speed in the upcoming high speed facility, and then we can combine it into this initial pilot route where we envision that in 2023 people can use it in a test environment. But it will be on a line of an eventual route. So later it can be extended to the first commercial route, which we now envision to be finished in 2028, but it really depends on how fast the implementation will go. But around that time, we envision that you can use Hyperloop on a day-to-day basis, for example, going from your home to your work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds great. I'm going to take your word for that. We're running out of time. And just to wrap it up, what would be the main takeaway you would want for the audience to take with them after this kind of a really cute session?
Yeah, and I think there may be 2 main takeaways. One of them is definitely that because Hyperloop is such a really big project where 1,000 things need to be done, if there's anybody in the audience that feels like there is some alignment with Hyperloop and their current business, really don't hesitate to hit me up afterwards, and I'm happy to discuss about collaboration. But the second thing, and that's more on a personal level, it is if there is something that you dream of and you have the idea that you could achieve it, there should be nothing that is holding you back to even try to make it happen. And especially when I look back when we started a couple of years ago with just 4 people and see what has all been growing around and how big it's going. And in the bigger picture, we're still here and the path is here, but how fast it's going, that's crazy to see, and it also excites me so much. And I think that's really a message I want to convey to people. If there is something you think about, you think you can make it happen and attract the right people, there should be nothing to hold you back to try to make it happen.
Indeed. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tim, 26-year-old Dutch, is going to change the world.
You could say European as well.
And let's give a warm applause.
Thank you.